How's it going, guys? So, thought I'd do a little, I don't know what you want to call it, like a sort of kind of review of, first Sly Cooper. Yeah, as the title of the video says, yeah, this is a revisit. This is actually the Sly game I've, come back to the most. In fact, it's the only one I've beaten more than once. I'm pretty sure I've beaten this game maybe like 5 times, and I mean, and I think that's because this is the shortest one, you know, like Sly 1's a pretty short game, but I recently decided I wanted to come back and revisit the Sly games, so, you know, so obviously, you know, I want to start from the beginning. And playing this game again, you know, it's still a dang good game, but like, it's funny, like, yeah, like this game is essentially Crash Bandicoot with stealth is how I would pitch it to people, you know, like, and yeah, like, it's, like, one thing about this game that, like, I mean, this doesn't just go for this game, but based on my memory of the other ones, you know, yeah, Sly, like, the Sly games in general have a really good presentation, you know, like, really good, like, aesthetic, like, you know, like, the comic book, like, sequences, like, in between, like, major sections of the game where they kind of, like, recap stuff that happened and stuff, you know, but like, yeah, like playing this game though, gameplay wise, like this is still a solid like point A to point B platformer, you know, like sort of like linear level style, kind of like I said, akin to Crash Bandicoot. But like, one thing about this game, especially more towards the end, is there are like moments of absolute bullcrap in this game where like the hit detection in certain parts is like super picky and like super finicky, and it's like so frustrating, but like it's forgettable because the game is pretty consistent, you know, besides that, you know. The other parts too that like are pretty terrible is there's like 2 racing levels, and like, yeah, racing levels in this game are just very frustrating. Now granted, like, as I've gotten older, I'm obviously, I'm a lot better at games compared to when I was a kid. So, like, it didn't take me too long to beat the racing levels, but, like, it still took me, like, a couple tries. But when I was younger, I remember those racing levels were just the bane of my existence. Like, there's one in, like, Mugshots area, and then there's also one at Panda King's section of the game as well. And yeah, those sucked. The rail shooter sections where you have to protect, like, Murray and, like, when you're protecting Sly as Carmelita, like, I don't love those either. Like, those are still, like, pretty, frustrating, you know, just very easy to screw up and, you know, very little room for error. But I will say, like, this game, though, it's a solid, it still stands up as a solid first entry. It's funny, because, like, another thing about this game is, when I was younger and I first played all these games when I was like 12, 13, somewhere around that margin. And one thing I always remember feeling about these games is I always just wanted to only play as Sly in the sequels. You know, like in Sly 2, 3, and 4, you know, like the game has, like, you know, sections where you play as, like, Bentley and Murray and, like, you know, a few other characters in some of the games. And, like, I don't remember hating them, but I remember when I was younger, just kind of like in my head, just constantly thinking I'd rather be playing as Sly. And I think it's another reason why this is the one that I consistently came back to. But I don't know, I'm really curious to like jump into Sly 2 again, you know, like see how I feel now. Because like since then, my taste in games and like appreciation for different types of mechanics has since broadened a lot, you know, compared to when I was younger. So I'm pretty curious to see, you know, just what my updated thoughts on Sly 2 are, because like I said, like I think the last time I beat this game was somewhere. Honestly, I don't know. It was definitely quite a few years ago, but yeah, no, I would say this game is still an easy recommendation. You know, like it's even as a standalone game, it's good. Like, technically, besides, like, the post-credits, like, stinger at the end, like, this game literally, like, this just could have been it, and it still would have held up as, like, a, you know, a solid game. It's funny, though, too, because I think something interesting about this game is I think I remember hearing somewhere that you'll notice, like, this is the Black Label cover, The Greatest Hits cover of this game, it has like Sly, like kind of jumping down a building, like falling on the front, you know? I think when this game first released, like, it initially didn't sell super well, but I think Sony had a lot of confidence in it, so, like, they gave it a second chance and, like, slapped on a different cover, and I think it's sold a lot better. But, yeah, no, this is truly where Sucker Punch, as a developer, really got their name on the map, you know? Rocket Robot on Wheels that came before this is also a really dang good game, but this is the one that, like, you know, the series that they made that made everyone recognize them. But yeah, I guess in conclusion, yeah, I definitely still very much recommend Sly 1, and I'm still a fan. So yeah, I guess I'll catch you guys after I finish Sly 2 again. Till then, I'll talk to you guys then.